Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and record this to put in the chat. This is the Quasis Prime. I made a build on it. It's a build that's still in the making because I still need to get other mods for it. This is what I have so far. So I'm gonna do two different builds that I'm gonna show off. So I'm running Sacrificial Steel and Organ Shatter for crit, then normal Prime Pressure Point for melee damage, and then I do Toxin, Cold for virus proc, Slash status chance for more status with the viral, Slash and whatnot, and I also have more of a status chance. Volcanic Edge for more status chance to apply heat, and then Buzzkill for more Slash. This is a Slash proc weapon, so I'm going to keep Slash on here, 864 to 1400 damage in Slash. 360 in heat. My viral is 1900. So this build is just my all-around build you could use in general. I do have melee animosity, so on melee hit, gain 42% critical chance on your next heavy attack up to 420%. That is a guaranteed red crit. What I'm going to do for this is, in this scenario that I'm going to be using the weapon, it's going to give a red crit anyway. But what I will do to at least give it more damage is I will go ahead and hit an enemy all the way up to 420% on my arcane, and running with 112% critical chance with 4.8 times the crit damage. Then I do have a build for the heavy ability primarily. Again, melee animosity, gain 42% critical chance on your next heavy attack up to 420. Then I have again Slash and status chance to keep the heavy with the status. Virulent Scourge for Toxin and status chance. Volcanic Edge for heat and status chance. And North Wind with the Toxin again to make the viral, and then with the heat proc as well. Viral is good for damage. Volcanic Edge is good for armor and health. I don't know why I said that. Viral is good for health. Volcanic Edge is also good for health. And I did add Prime Fever Strike to it as well for additional toxin damage to keep the viral up. So the difference is my all-around build, my damage for that is 17,778 times 2 for the heavy attack. Heavy fan is up to 25,156 times 2. The wind up for heavy attack is also quicker. So I'm going to go ahead and show my all-around build first. I did tinker a bit with my Mirage Prime build. I do have 2 Amber Archon shards, 1's Tau Forge, 2 Crimson, 1's Tau Forge, and I do have a single Tau Forge Azure Archon shard. The main parts of this is ability duration, secondary critical chance since I am using Epitaph Prime as a primer. And then armor, 225% for Steel Path, survival. So with all this together, I do have Crepuscular, which while invisible gain 30% ability strength and 3 times final crit damage. To pair with that, I have the Shade Prime, because what this does is it's going to give the ghost status. Cloaks owner within enemies. When enemies are within 24 meters, the cloak is disrupted if the owner attacks. What's good with this is, since this keeps me invisible, my arcane will work. I can get a little bit of extra boost on my eclipse. So we're going to go and see how much damage, or how much I can get out of my eclipse. 788% more damage. And I'm going to go ahead and do a heavy attack with this. All of them will eventually die. Slash proc. Alright. So this right here was just my all-around build. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get my Zephyr back, group them all back together. Keep in mind these enemies are steel path level 125, or 125 with steel path. Didn't even group up, what the hell? There we go. Okay, took it a second. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and get the heavy build outs. This is specifically used for just the fans heavy attack. I'm going to go ahead and get that on. I'm going to try to get it to where go. And they're all dead. Now I'll do one more, but I'm not going to bring them out just so it's a little bit quicker. But I will do it like this. The top right, my animosity meter builds. Now we're at 420% crit. Try to get where it lets me get invisible again. Waiting for it at least. Alright, we're going to try it out while they are spread out too. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and make this, put it in the group chat. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you my Quasis, whatever the hell it's called, build. I'm doing steel path level enemies, and they are at 125. I'll go ahead and summon these heavy duty guys. Summon them all into one spot. Okay. Let me get my Mirage, does the better damage. Alright, so I have 3 builds I'm going to show off. Alright, so I have an all-around build. What this is, I'm going to reset it so it's just the stats. Alright, so I have Sacrificial Steel for 220% critical chance, paired with 90% critical damage with Organ Shatter. Northwind and Prime Fever Strike for Viral. Carnus Mandible and Buzzkill for Slash. Carnus Mandible gives that Slash more status chance. Volcanic Edge for more status chance, and to also have a chance to inflict heat. And then Prime Pressure Point for melee damage. I do have melee animosity, so on melee hit, gain 42% critical chance on your next heavy attack. Up to 420%. Okay, then I have Heavy Fan. That other build was for an all-around build that you can use whenever. It works both for heavy and for normal melee attacks. This one is made specifically with the heavy attack involved. Again, melee animosity, and again, Prime Fever Strike, Northwind, Sacrificial Steel, and all of that. Only thing that's different. There's something else I should have done on this build. Either way, I'm going to change it eventually. So, only thing that's different is that I'm taking that off. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and make a video on the Quasis build. I think that's what it is. Yes, the Quasis Prime. So it is a pair of Warfans. I have them where they do a, I have 3 different builds I'm going to show you. Basically, the best thing about them is they're heavy, throws out a bunch of knives. So, here's the builds that I have for today. So I have this first build, which is used. You could use it for its heavy attack and its normal melee attack. Its second build is used specifically just for its heavy, and then the third build that I have is mainly used for slash proc. That third build would technically be favorable with like a Warframe like Garuda that favors slash proc. Of course, you can use her normal exalted weapon, which is her talons, but just the thought. Other than that, you can have mass amount of slash damage on any Warframe with that third build. They're not fully optimized, meaning that I don't have the best mods on here for it, but just to throw something together is what I got, and they do really good damage as is with the right Warframe. But the first ability right here is my all-around build. I have Sacrificial Steel for 220% crit chance, paired with Organ Shatter, 90% critical damage. That gives me 112% crit chance with 4.8 crit damage. 4.8 times the crit damage. I got Buzzkill for the slash proc, since it is a slash proc main weapon. Carnus Mandible for 90% more slash, with 60% of that being status chance. I do have Volcanic Edge to give me some heat with more status chance, paired with North Wind and Prime Fever Strike for heat and viral procs with the slash. My slash does 1,410 damage, heat's 390, viral is 1,560. Total damage 3,555.5. Now, the heavy attack on this isn't the greatest, but you can use it. 17,778 times 2. Again, 112% critical chance with 4.8 times crit damage and just a low amount of status per projectile with 4.4%. Total of it with the projectile on the heavy attack is 8,994.6. I'm running melee animosity for all 3 builds, so if I hit anybody with a melee weapon, I get 42% critical chance on my next heavy attack, stacks to 420%. The next build I have is the heavy fan, as well as what I'm going to call it. Again, melee animosity. Again, sacrificial steel, Carnus Mantle, blah blah. Only thing that is different with this build is I have Virulent Scourge, so I can have the killing blow. 120% melee damage on heavy attack with the wand speed being sped up. Roughly a little bit over twice. And then this is my slash proc. So both Jagged Edge 90% slash, Buzzkill with 120% slash, and Carnus Mantle with another 90% slash with a little bit more status chance. Prime with along with that, Killing Blow for the heavy status or the heavy weapon slash proc. You know, melee damage, bunch of crit chance, all that good stuff. Since crit does not really affect slash procs, I just kept the critical damage as normal and prioritized slash. So slash is now 1,820. Now this build in particular does have the highest damage when it comes to its heavy at 26,455. So I'm going to show every build for it for the Quasis. Alright, I'm going to go ahead. These enemies are set to Steel Path, and they are level 125. I'm going to go ahead. I'm gonna get my stacks up to do as much damage as I can. This is what the heavy looks like on this. So, almost every single one of them being a red crit. I'm gonna go ahead and bring them back. Okay, switch this out to the primary heavy, and I'm gonna go bundle all of them back together. Okay, I'm gonna bring this one back. We're gonna try the heavy one out. This time I'm not gonna worry about having to do the arcane. This is what this looks like just off the rip. See, that was not too bad at all. Okay, and I'm gonna do it one more time, and this will be with the third build. Slash prot build. And I might just throw this in as a little joke. get Mirage back. Alright, we're gonna try the slash out. For the most part, it does pure red crits and an occasional orange. I will say before I do quit the video, I do want to see how this would work out. Because what this is, it temporarily increases with each enemy she kills to maximum 100, slash with the talons, blah blah. Might as well see what they look like. I know this right here ain't gonna do a lot of red, but we're gonna try this out. Yeah, these ain't really half bad. And playing, cool thing is too, now that she had enemies with bleed on it, she has more damage. I'm gonna try this out. Red crits. But yeah, that's the Quasis build that I have so far. I might pull an Epitaph build out of my ass, I don't know, I already got a couple down.